Hey everyone, Robert here, writer and producer of Story, aka The Walk, the first season of Story. I'm here with Jack Austin.
Hey guys.
Okay, that's not what he sounds like, and he's very far from the mic.
Hey guys.
All right, there it is. Voice of John in The Walk.
That's right.
And we're here to do a season recap of The Walk, since we're not going to have a season 2 of this. I mean, we will have Story, but it won't be anywhere.
Right.
Anyway,
completely
connected.
different story.
Yeah, it's
completely
not gonna be
different
connected to
everything.
this. So I figured we'd talk a little bit about this, just to talk about the behind the scenes and what went into creating this season.
Bro, that's a good idea.
Do you think
Glad
so?
you thought of that.
I know. It's not my first rodeo.
This is
My
the
first rodeo, hold on, was in Chunky, Mississippi. Yeah. That was my first one, but this is my second.
They were
rodeo.
fighting over the last Arby's roast beef sandwich.
Yeah. Big
And
Montana is what they call it there.
Jumped on the back of this gentleman who really thought the Big Montana should go to him.
Yeah.
But Robert got his 8 seconds.
Of fame.
Bingo.
Yep. Bingo bango.
This is the first series that you and I have done start to finish. First season, really.
That's
like
true.
This story arc, we've never started and ended a story arc together.
So some people might know already, but I was doing the podcasting. I was with like some other people, and they kind of dropped out. I went my own way, but like right when I went my own way was when I just like met you.
Boom.
So this was like, hey, I need someone to play the main character. You're like, I'll do it. I'm like, it's gonna be a lot of voiceover. You're like, I'll do it.
Well, yeah, that's okay because I like doing it.
Right. You like you like voice acting.
Yeah, I like voice acting a lot, so I don't really care if there's a lot of voice over or whatever. And this one was not your typical character, really.
I mean,
all the characters that you do are in supernatural situations or
true.
highly unlikely scenarios wherein,
Well, I mean,
they're doing something insane.
from like
This is more of a straight guy who just,
Well, that's the thing is this is loosely based on my actual walk across the country, which if you haven't listened to Across America, which is another podcast we produce here at Seven Lamb, that's all about my actual walk across the country, which Jack is a part of too.
Yeah.
Not the actual walk.
I host that one.
Right.
And yeah.
So, I mean, this is what it was. It was just a dramatization of my walk across the country.
Right. With a few things added for entertainment purposes.
Well, that's what I kind of wanted to talk about because obviously, if you want to know about my walk, just go listen to that
Across
podcast.
America, yeah.
So I don't really want to talk about my personal walk that much on this unless it ties into the story.
Yeah.
But that was what I wanted Story to be. I was trying to make just a straight drama. And we do, we have End of All Hope, which is sci-fi. We have Paralyzed horror. We have comedy podcasts.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do just a straight drama. And that's what this was. And I figured the backdrop of walking across the country was like a good overall story to kind of set these characters in motion.
Yeah.
Although it was really all about John for the most part.
Well, it's from his point of view.
Right.
You really can't capture somebody else's point of view halfway through it.
Well, and the thing is that I started the walk with 2 other friends. And in this, I changed it to have, actually, there's 5 of them.
Yeah.
Just to add more drama, add more characters. I figured one guy just narrating everything by himself would get kind of boring.
Well, I mean, yeah, after a while, if you did it straight like the actual walk, again, that's all done in Across America, but it would get kind of weird to start going from different people's point of view. I don't know.
Yeah, I just figured like it being about John's personal walk, even though it seemed like it was starting off as like a group thing, it kind of ended with, well, not to spoil too much, but if you're listening to the recap, you should be
recap of the whole season.
I don't know. Some people might listen to the recap first to see if they want to listen
out.
to
Let me see if I can hear the whole thing.
Let me listen to the recap and see if it's something I want to do.
The funny thing is, there were so many times where we were ahead of the actual story in Across America.
We were releasing them both simultaneously.
Right.
And it was kind of weird going back and forth.
Yeah. Across America, you would talk about something, and then I would read it in the script and go, oh, I know what's about to happen.
Well, and that's the thing is a lot of the other podcasts we do, a lot of the other audio dramas we do, like you were saying, they're supernatural or, just a different genre altogether. And this one, because I was trying to make it serious, I was also trying to make it pretty close to what I experienced. That's why I feel like if you're listening to The Walk, some people might find it boring because it is just either dialogue or narration throughout.
Yeah.
And not a lot of action. Like there's hardly any action. There's drama, but it's just, for the most part, I feel like it's a very slow paced story. So I didn't know if everybody would like that, but it seemed like a lot of people liked it. So kind of glad we did it. And some people were even like, do a season 2. And I'm like, I'm not gonna have them walk again.
And then I turned around
and walked back.
And started walking back.
No, I wanted to keep it really
saw
close.
Some zombies.
And then it just turns into a horror.
Yeah.
No, I just wanted to do like something that was really close to what I experienced, but embellished enough to make it interesting and dramatic.
Here's something, and I promise I won't go too far off the rails with this. How drastic do you think our listener fellowship, whoever our followers would drop off if you got to the end and you turned around and it just became this straight zombie survival podcast?
They
played the long game over there at Seven Lamp. They played the long game over there.
I'm intrigued. I'm going to keep listening.
You know what? I like this. I like it.
This I could get used to. I don't know if people would like that too much, especially because this was, 26 episodes?
Yeah, so at episode 26, the big reveal.
Yeah. just a spin. M. Night Shyamalan type twist at the end. Now, actually, it was kind of funny because other series that I write, I try to always have like a ending in mind, and while I did have an ending in mind for this, I also didn't know how long I wanted to drag it out for.
Right.
And this was one of the longest, if not the longest season I've written so far, 26 episodes, and most of them were, 20 minutes or more.
Yeah.
So,
and they were dialogue full.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the thing is there was a lot of like tension between characters and stuff throughout. And I like writing that. I like writing dialogue. So, I just wanted to make it like kind of feel how it was to walk across the country. Like everything they saw, a lot of things. There are some things I left out, and there are some things I changed a little bit to make them a little bit more intriguing. But for the most part, it's pretty similar.
For the biggest part is there was no couple on the walk.
Yeah, there was no couple. That's it was the couple.
The couple generated the majority of the drama. I thought.
I wanted to do some kind of like love triangle type thing because I thought that would be a kind of tense situation, whereas like you see that a lot in like sitcoms or like daytime TV or whatever it is, but like in this I felt like you're on a walk, you're kind of stuck with these people and they're right next to you. You can't have any like time to yourself, which I felt kind of added to the drama. So I thought that was kind of a cool touch, and it gave some more to, because when I'm walking across the country, a lot of it was just like, all right, we're heading to this town, like blah, blah, blah. I have to add more to than that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I was walking,
and then I walked. There's so many times where on the walk it's just 100 miles of nothing, and it's boring. I'm just listening to stuff.
Yeah,
I'm not going to put that in a podcast.
Right.
So you had to add some stuff,
just a hair full of time jumping.
But I do think like we also had like a huge cast, and I do think I picked like the right like 5 people to be like the main characters. Although JJ, who plays Isaac, was only in it for a few because he drops off right away. But everybody else, John, I personally, you played John, I played Anders.
Yeah. Yep.
Our friend Ariel Zadok, she played Liz, and then
I thought she did a good job.
Yeah.
I thought she did a good job. I know.
For sure.
I think everybody else that played parts in this, I'd never heard her.
No, she's actually right now. She's playing another character in Paralyzed.
Nice.
Season 3. So that'll be like her next role. But that's one of the things I was going to talk about is while we were filming or while we were recording this, we're not filming this.
I'm going to talk to you about another podcast.
Yeah, no. While we were recording this, my friend Ariel, she moved to LA. Yeah. And I remember because we were halfway through the season, I was like, hey, you still going to be able to record? And she's like, yeah, I'll still be able to do it. She's like, I have a mic and everything like that. She didn't have a studio where she was moving, but she's like, I'll set up something. And she did. So that helped out a lot because I really thought I was going to have to replace her.
I'd like to know how she did that because I have a pretty standard. I don't have a Mac, though. Is the
no,
Mac
you don't have
built
the
for
Mac.
that?
Nah. I think she records on her PC. She might have a Mac. I don't know. But I think you can record through it. I think she has a USB mic that she just plugs in. And then she actually, at first, was recording under some covers.
Yeah.
Just put like a blanket over her.
It works.
It does. It cuts out that background ambiance.
Yeah.
But I think eventually she was recording in her closet or wherever.
That's where I recommend.
Yeah.
If you're recording somewhere like that, do it in a closet.
Yeah, it's not as hot under like when you're under a blanket.
Dude, it's
but even this studio is hot, so who knows?
Yeah.
And it's not like it's that much better. But yeah, I just and then Nick Engelhard played Chase,
Nick.
Which Nick was going to play when we first started. You were always going to play John, but Nick was actually going to play Anders, and I was going to play Chase. But then, like, after Nick read for some lines for Anders, I was like, nah, you got, like, the kind of, like, nice, calming type voice for Chase. And Anders, I just imagine more of, like, an annoying type of...
You consider him annoying. I thought he was kind of funny.
I mean, he was kind of funny, but
he was a bad friend at times. But he was funny.
I mean, he was a good friend at times too, but it just for the most part, he was just kind of a jerk, and like he seemed like he only cared about himself.
Very proud of himself, yeah.
Right. So like, I was like, I'll play that character because that'd be fun, and I feel like I personally have a more annoying voice, so I was like, I'll just go with it.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
you do.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
thanks, man. No,
I feel like my voice sucks, you know? Yeah, sure.
Whatever. But, and then I want to just say that the people who edited, I was editing a lot of the episodes at first, and it took a lot of time. So luckily finally been going on Reddit, and I met some people on there. I was looking for help, and I had a few people come on and like help me edit throughout. Dylan Whitehead and Dan Stevenson. Dan Stevenson did a couple. I think he did the finale for me too. So there's and I'm probably forgetting like several other people who helped out, but had some people help out with editing, which allowed me to get it.
The biggest chore of the whole situation. Editing.
Right. That's what took forever.
Not just that, but finding somebody who can edit.
Well, the thing is, like, with this show, it's not, like, too demanding in the sense of there's not a lot of action scenes, like, with Paralyzed or End of All Hope, so that's nice, but it is still, like, you got to cut everybody's dialogue. Everybody records separately, and to splice it together and to find the right take that syncs up the best, I mean, that's just how it is. And I know sometimes people complain about the acting, and it's like, listen, we're all recording at different times, and sometimes the way somebody reads it just doesn't coincide with how somebody else reads their line, and then you're trying to match up as best you can.
Yeah, that's tough because sometimes I know with me, I'm saying this and I'm like, man, this is going to be hard to respond to.
It feels weird because you're not talking.
Right.
And even though I write it, like, I don't know why I stressed it that hard, but even though I write it.
Although I write.
I sometimes when I'm reading back and forth with somebody just so they get kind of the context, it doesn't always translate when I'm sending the scripts to, like, Ariel, who's in L.A. now.
Yeah.
Or some of the people who have had voice characters that I found on Reddit. I'm just sending them a script, and I can kind of tell them, like, hey, read it this way. But, you know, it would
be hard to do it without hearing me, especially a scene where somebody's arguing with you. If you don't know, like if I'm like, what are you talking about? And they're like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I know.
It's going to come out really weird.
There's some parts where it was like that, and I think we had to like re-record a couple lines here and there, but for the most part, it worked out. But there were a couple times where I'm like, but I did find a workaround where sometimes when you're editing, all you need to do is like either take a pause or have the character do something in the meantime. Mm-hmm. So if you're having like an argument and you kind of are coming off like more like angry and they're not like as into it, or maybe one of their lines isn't, you kind of have them pause and maybe have them take a few steps and then they say their line, and it actually sounds more intense, right? Because maybe it's not as loud, but to have somebody take a few steps towards you and then say their line, you can kind of picture it in your head that it makes a little bit more sense. So I don't know, there's some workarounds to it, but yeah, for the most part, if you didn't like the acting all the time, that's kind of the issue, but I think for the most part, I think the acting was pretty good for
I thought it was good.
Yeah.
There are some, not with us, but just podcasting in general, where you can tell that somebody's looking at a script and reading a line.
I'll say there's some episodes of ours that were like that, especially
They're not
the
all
earlier
winners.
ones. No,
Yeah.
I know. Especially the early ones. I think we're getting better overall.
Yeah.
Especially like some people who were nervous about acting in the beginning now are getting better at it. So luckily not with story, at least not how I felt, but I guess that's pretty much it. I don't want to get too far into it. I mean, I will say that a lot of people thought Chase was a douche. So that's some comments that we got.
Did they really?
Yeah, I've heard some people.
I didn't hear any comments about this.
Yeah, somebody mentioned, I think it was on Patreon, like one of our patrons mentioned, like, Chase is such a jerk. I hope he turns it around, but he kind of doesn't. It's not, I don't know. It's kind of like your take on it. It's like the Ross and Rachel, we were on a break thing, you know?
Yeah.
Who's really at fault?
I'm really self-conscious about that kind of stuff. So I remember one time, what podcast was it?
Which one?
I don't know. But I was doing a particular character. I was like, man, I hope people like this character. And it never happened. But somebody finally was like, I really love this one guy.
It was Paralyzed.
What?
It was Charlie. Charlie from Paralyzed.
I loved Charlie so much, and I thought I did so good with Charlie.
Yeah, but nobody said anything.
I was so self-conscious because nobody said anything about Charlie. How about this? We're talking about Charlie, and I'm like, do you like the guy Charlie? My wife's like, yeah, I like him. He's good. I'm like, that's me.
Yeah.
She's like, what? I was like, that's me. She's like, I thought you were this guy. I'm like, I am that guy.
Yeah, you were two different.
And I'm Charlie. She's like, I had no idea.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Thanks a lot, babe.
No, that's good though. That means that's how good of a voice actor you are.
Oh God.
I'm just saying. No, I mean I agree with that. It's always funny to see what people think about the characters and stuff. And I know a lot of times we don't get comments on the characters, more just like the overall podcast. And when somebody mentioned Chase, they're like, "Oh my God,
what a douche!"
Like, yeah.
And Nick is such a nice guy.
He is totally. But it's like the way I wrote him is to be kind of that character. But it's also like, I don't know, was he really a douche? Like John slept with his girlfriend.
Yes, he did.
So I mean,
which
John's kind of to blame too. But it was also they were both drunk, and then Liz Liz kind of did some shit too. So it's like, I don't know.
Nobody's 100% okay in this one,
right? Except for
Isaac,
who's just there for a little bit.
Isaac's on the straight and narrow.
Yeah, but I don't know.
All right,
so
good for you, Isaac.
Yeah, you're good. He shows up in the finale. I thought that was
right.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Hey guys, I got a job. He finally got a job by the end. I don't know.
He's gone episode 22. No,
he's
no.
Episode
2 of
2. Yeah.
Yeah, of 26.
Yeah.
And then he comes back after all those episodes. Hey guys, got a job.
Yep.
What have you been doing this whole time,
yeah,
Isaac?
Seriously, man. I also want to point out that the finale was long just because I like long finales. That's all I can say. I like when the finale is like double what a normal episode is. I've done that for pretty much every podcast we've done. Paralyzed, End of All Hope, Atlas, Avenue Beat. They all have longer finales, and I think it kind of played well with this one. And like I said, Dan Stevenson edited that one for me, and I appreciate that because it was a longer episode, and I've been working on other stuff, so I didn't really have the time to edit it, and that helped me out. And then he also said that there's a lot of good bloopers in the finale, and I was well, we're going to upload some bloopers to Patreon soon. So I'm going to try to get those in order, and then
Is this a Patreon episode?
No, this is not a Patreon episode.
Oh, okay.
But if you would like to donate and help us out, you can go to patreon.com/7lamb, the number 7.
Seven lamb.
7 lamb.
Not the lucky number 11 lamb.
No, but /7 lamb, number 7 LAMB.
Right.
And you can donate as little as $1 a month. But if you want to listen to bloopers, I think it's like $3.
But you know what? Wrong. If you want to listen to all of our stuff for free, but by God, do it. We love you for it anyway.
Yeah, for sure. No. Yeah, you don't have to. But
I know.
It definitely it does help us out. It all goes to like sound, like, we pay for this, a lot of the sound effects we get, the music, editing costs a lot, especially now. We've found a lot of editors on Reddit, so we've actually been paying people to help edit for us. To
actors on Reddit.
Yeah, actors on Reddit.
The whole idea, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, the point is to be able to finally get an actual studio.
Yeah.
Because as of right now, we're doing this in a local park out of a hollowed out oak tree.
Yeah, that's...
which is cool.
Actually, we're going to have a guest star on soon. It's the squirrel.
Yeah. Who's super pissed that we're here.
Yeah. No, I get it. We'll leave. We'll leave right after this.
But then we could actually do some scenarios where we do have two people acting a scene at the same time. Yeah,
I mean, we're all working towards that. And like, we do have advertisers right now that do help with some stuff, but... like we said, if you like our content and you want to listen to bonus stuff, like, we do have it on Patreon. We have episodes up there. All the episodes I've been spending like a long time uploading every episode of every podcast we've done ad free. So I'm trying to put them all on there ad free. Still got some more to do. But then we have bloopers from all of our shows.
And he's going to get some bloopers up as soon as he possibly can. And let me tell you guys, they're really, 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 really funny.
They will
but if you're listening to me and my bloopers, cover the ears of small children, because when I screw up, I say wildly inappropriate things and I swear.
I think you say, like, gosh darn it, like, a lot.
Heck and shoot.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
100%.
But yeah, I mean, after this, we'll upload some bloopers to Patreon. But, the next season of Story, and I'm just going to talk about just a little bit because I don't want to give too much away because we're still writing it. It's still in the process.
It's loosely based off of Godzilla King of Monsters.
It's loosely based on my walk to Circle K down the road. A lot of stuff happens on that walk.
We're going to go with a lot of content on that one, too.
Yeah, a lot of characters, because it only really takes one day.
Yep.
Not even a whole day.
Yeah.
Like 20 minutes.
A lot of embellishment.
Definitely zombies in that one.
100%.
No, it's going to be a thriller based over near...
Don't even say
All right, I'll just say it's going to be a thriller... and I don't know.
That's it.
All right.
It's going to be a thriller, probably loosely the same cast of people.
Yeah, I think it will be. We might have. It's going to be a lot of the similar.
I know I'm not the lead in this one.
No, but you are going to be playing. You'll be playing. There's only going to be a few main characters, and you'll be one of them. You just won't be the lead.
If it's what we talked about, I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it's going to be fun because we haven't worked on a thriller yet. We've done horror, but this is different.
This will still have some really good dialogue, but
and
thrillers,
moments,
right. It's not going to be Paralyzed where there's something crazy haunting and trying to kill them. It's not going to be End of All Hope where they've got the machine guns out and they're trying to mow things down. And it's definitely not going to be Cop Doctors.
No, it's definitely not. Nothing's going to be Cop Doctors.
But I'm excited for it. I know that we've got a lot of people who have been asking about what the next season's going to be about. You know what? Mind your business.
Yeah, we'll get to
Stop
it.
asking.
You get, no,
no, I'm totally kidding.
But I do want to say that I, a long time ago, wrote like some screenplays just because I was submitting them to
Cannes Film Festival.
Yeah, just Cannes. No, just different screenwriting contests, and this was one of the ones that I wrote, and I can't remember if this is one of the ones that made it to like the semifinals or whatever, but I'm going to be splitting it up into a show like format for this season, whereas I wrote it as kind of a film. It was a film script, just like Paralyzed was originally a film script, and a couple others that I'm going to eventually turn into seasons and story that I feel like are good enough to hold one season, but not good enough to like keep it going. You know what I mean? Like I don't have enough content to make it a whole show. So this will be fun to work on a thriller after this drama, and who knows what'll be after that one. So I will say that I believe we'll be releasing it this year. I just don't know when yet.
Awesome.
But when we find out, we'll post some stuff on Facebook and Twitter.
Be the first one to know.
And you know what? That'll lead us into follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
Hey!
At Seven Lamb Podcast.
Insert drum solo right there.
Yeah, if you want to find out when it's going to release, you might as well. So follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram.
Yep.
At Seven Lamb Podcasts. We'll post on there when we start getting these episodes out. And if you do want to help us out, like I said, patreon.com/7lamb, the number 7 LAMB. You can donate as little as $1 a month and see some of the bonus content we have on there. And, you know, it all goes to creating podcasts like Story or like any of the other ones we produce. And if you haven't listened to Across America, which is the true story of my walk across the country, no embellishments at all, except for maybe a couple of random jokes that Jack throws in.
Yep.
Then check out Across America because that's a fun podcast, and we just wrapped it up, so it's all done.
I dig it.
Yeah, cool. All right, thanks for listening.
Listen to it, or we're going to come and beat you up.
Okay, we're not going to do that. But thanks for listening to this.
Watch your back.
Look forward to Season 2 coming out later this year.
Bye, guys.
This has been a Seven Lamb production.